Good afternoon. I hope you're having a great day. So the raging battle for so long about the pros and cons of social media. From one point, you take Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and it's connected the world. Billions of people being connected, being able to speak to each other, find lost friends, make new friends, especially during COVID when we're so isolated, some of us, to be able to connect. And at the same point, it spreads misinformation, people get addicted, they spend too much time, it triggers things in their brain, and they're not able to focus properly on what's important, and they see things on social media, and they see people that their lives look perfect. Of course, it's nothing like that, because all of us, the pictures we post on social media is not necessarily who we are and what's happening. Is it good or is it bad? It's funny, I just got a message from Facebook. It popped up on my thing. You haven't posted in a while. It's keeping track of me. I didn't do a Dvar Torah since Monday. So it's reminding me that I have to do a Dvar Torah again. In this week's Torah portion, we read the story about the burning bush. Moses, we read the story in this week's Torah portion, how he says an ineffable name and he kills the Egyptian who was beating the Jew. And then the next day he sees two Jews fighting. And he tells one of them, "Why are you hurting your friend? Now I can understand if there's no love amongst the Jewish people, what's going on here?" And one of them says to him, "Listen, buddy, you think we didn't know what you did yesterday? We'll tell Pharaoh." And Pharaoh tries to kill Moses. The rabbis say that God made a miracle where he wasn't able to kill him. And that's where we read in Psalm, where Moses says that God saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. Moses ends up in Midian, where he marries Jethro's daughter, and he becomes a shepherd. And he's shepherding his sheep, and one day one of the sheep runs away, and he comes across Har Choreb, Mount Choreb, and he sees a bush that's burning and is not being consumed. And suddenly God reveals himself to him and says, "Go to Egypt and take the Jewish people out of Egypt." But what's the message? Why the burning bush? The rabbis tell us that Har Choreb, where Moses saw the burning bush, ended up becoming later Mount Sinai, the place where God gave the Jewish people the Torah. In fact, Sinai and Sneh, which is a thorn bush in Hebrew, have similar roots, or the same root. And in fact, the rabbis tell that the word hasneh, it says that the thorn bush was burning. The word hasneh is the same numerical value as the word Sinai. So what's the message here? And the answer is a very profound one. You see, fire is one of the most essential elements, if not the most essential element we have in the world. Think about it. Fire gives us warmth. We're in Boston. It's cold now. It's freezing. How do you warm yourself up? Imagine if we didn't have fire. Fire also gives you light. So if we didn't have fire on the dark, we're in some of the darkest days of the year where there's the least light, and the coldest days. Imagine if we didn't have fire to be able to warm us and give us light. But at the same point, fire also consumes. It burns. It destroys. As much as it's one of the most positive elements we have, it can be the most destructive element we have. Tells us the Torah. Moses saw something remarkable on Har Choreb, which later became Mount Sinai. He saw V'asneh boer v'einenu ukol. The fire was burning, but it wasn't consuming. He saw fire with all its positive elements. Yet, at the same point, there was no destruction. It wasn't being destructive. What's the message tells us the Torah? God was showing Moses the place where the Torah would be given. And he was telling him that when you bring godliness, when you bring Torah, when you bring spirituality into the fire can be positive, where it's only illuminating, where it only brings light and warmth, but it doesn't destroy, it doesn't burn, it doesn't consume. One of the greatest things about the Rebbe, blessed memory, that he taught us was that everything that God created in this world has a positive element to it. And whenever you think about things and you say, "Oi, but it can be so destructive." If God brought it to this world, it's because within it there's a positive element. And when you use it for spirituality, for holiness, for creativity in a good then you're redeeming it and you're using it for what God actually created it. But when you use it for something destructive, you're corrupting that which God created for positive and using it in negative. Same is true with everything. When the TV came out, when radio came out, the Rebbe immediately said, you know what? If God gave us TV, if He gave us the possibility of cable TV, it means we have to broadcast Torah, spirituality on TV, on the radio. And that's exactly what happened. The Rebbe was the first who broadcasted all his talks and all the Farbrengens on radio and TV. That's the message that the Torah gives us with the sneh. V'asneh boyer ve'inenu ukol. Everything in our life, Facebook, Instagram, social media, it could be used for negativity. It could be used for deception. It could be used for friction, for fake news, or for conspiracies. But it could also be used for positive, to bring people together, to bring them hope, to bring them joy, to teach them. Think about how many classes and videos there are on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter. Think about the web. Think about Chabad.org. Think about all these Jewish sites that allow you to study and connect. Think about gold, money. Money could be the root of all evil. But yet, money could create a golden calf, but it could also create a tabernacle, a dwelling place for Hashem. On the dollar we write, in God we trust. Because when you use that money, when you bring the fire and you bring it to the Torah, to spirituality, it's boer ve'inenu ukol. It burns, it illuminates, it warms, but it doesn't consume. May Hashem give us that we should find within everything the positive and a way to utilize everything that God created in this world to inspire, to invent, to create, to celebrate. Think about the miracle that happened today. Pfizer was approved, the FDA approved Pfizer pill, the virus pill for if you get COVID. So forget about just having a vaccine, but if someone already gets sick, either they had the vaccine and it didn't protect them or they didn't, they could just take a pill. Just like when you have the flu or any other virus. Think about the miracle, the gift that God gave us. And as technology develops, we could use and utilize all these things to make this world a better place, to help and save people, to bring light and warmth and not destruction. God bless you and have a good day.